What's up? It's D Hill.
It's sci-fi.
It's the Little John.
And you're listening to No Holding Back. Welcome to No Holding Back, where we openly discuss our opinions and love for different forms of art and creativity without holding back. I am D Hill, and with me today is Zach, Sci-Fi. For those of you who are new here, we are a group of musician producers and friends who are part of the best record label around, Platinum Vibes Entertainment, that produces and encourages artists and talents. I'm excited to get into it with you guys for another great season. Today we'll be talking about how art is so influential in different ways and how it impacts us on our daily lives. And today we have with us special guest G Money, Gabe. Appreciate you being here, man.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Hey, man. Glad you're here, man. Glad you're a part of Platinum Vibes Entertainment today. Let's start by diving into a conversation on art. I'm sure during the rest of the season we'll get into specifics and putting our spin on the topic, but let's just start off by discussing why we love and appreciate the art in the first place. We all know different forms of art. It can be music, painting, sculpting, videography. There's so many forms. There's even digital art like 3D drawings and animation and movies. But what do we feel is the importance of art? Like what makes us go to that one song that we just need to hear before we go into work, or that one video we just gotta watch? What is the importance of art?
Man, art does a lot for individuals, man. It evokes emotion for people. It causes people to reflect. It also causes social commentary, as well as inspires people to be creative. I don't know what the world would be without art.
For sure. I definitely agree with the emotion part, because I listen to certain songs and when I'm dealing with certain emotions. So it's just that vibe I can connect with in that moment. So and it really
you listen to a lot of Drake, don't you?
Nah, I don't listen to a lot of Drake, but I listen to a lot of different artists. But it's just whoever in that moment is, how I can resonate with the most,
Yeah, I think it's key. Just the two things y'all said is, creativity, and then also like that communication and connection is everything. So I think that art really does a great job connecting with whoever, the audience is.
How do y'all think the art influences, like society and community? When we really think about, like you said, people listening to Drake or people listening to Kodak or, different types of arts, even when you see a certain painting in a museum, like how do y'all think art influences our society?
I think it's just the creativity aspect behind it. Sometimes people don't know how to express their own emotions.
Yeah.
And they go out and they seek that, what am I trying to find within myself?
Right.
And somebody might be able to, I guess, relay that better than what you can express in that time. So
yeah, I think when people are stuck and don't know how to describe how they're feeling, right? They don't know how to describe with just common English how they're feeling. They can express that through the art,
through music, or through paintings, or whatever it may be that that you find attractive in that time.
Definitely. And I know you mentioned emotions. How art makes us feel different types of ways. I know for me, like if I'm upset or something, I might need something that's gonna pick me up. So I'm playing something hype on my phone or streaming or whatever. Or if I'm trying to get more information, then I'm watching videos or different movies on documentaries and stuff like that. So art has, like we said, art has many forms. It can be music, it can be videos, movies. But personally, does art make you feel? Like, does it evoke feelings?
For sure.
Like, what about like if you're listening to a song and you hear a certain chord? Like, for me as a musician, that's big. Like, I automatically pick that up. Just knowing chords, I'm like, oh man, I need to go back and hear that real quick and try and put that into my own sound. So how does it make y'all feel? Y'all hear a certain beat or even a certain vocalist do a run or something?
I was just about to say this. It doesn't necessarily have to be the chord, but it could be the hook. Like that hook in most songs is everything. That's like the foundation of the song. So if you can resonate with the hook and it really means something to you, like the rest of the song kind of doesn't even matter. You know what I'm saying? It might only take 2 or 3 words or a verse to really get to you to be like, dang, I'm really feeling this, or this is what I'm really feeling in this moment. So it may help you get through something, and it might not, but it's just something you really kind of enjoy in that time and in that space. So.
Yeah, I think different genres evoke different emotions, right? You think about heavy metal, right? Like a lot of times that music will make you upset, make you, put you in that rage mode.
Yeah.
Have jazz that kind of calms the emotions and calms you down a bit. And then you have, like the pop kind of put you in a happy mood. So yeah, you can play different genres of music to evoke different emotions.
Man, at certain times of the day, because sometimes I only play like real hard hip hop like early in the morning to get me up, ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or I might play some slow jams at night to kind of soothe me, calm me down, kind of relax me, get ready to go to bed. So it just depends on what you feeling and what you seeking in that time, in that space, in that moment. So
music is one thing that brings the world together. It's something that the world that everybody agrees with.
Yeah,
is music. So that's big. That's big. That's one big art that people can relate to.
Man, it brings together all different types of people.
Yeah.
They call it the universal language.
It is.
They call it.
Yeah.
I agree, and that's one of the things I was kind of thinking about earlier. I saw a video. I think it was like America's Got Talent. Then there could be somebody with autism or somebody with Tourette's, and they use that music or whatever art to kind of get away from that, and all of a sudden like their Tourette's are not there. There's no stuttering. It's just fluent, just beautiful. So I think that connection is everything.
Yeah. Another form of art that I've never really quite understood is just like the abstract paintings. That's just something I can't get with. I'm like, I don't see what everybody else sees, but it may not be for me. It may be, maybe for someone else. And you have different, like I said, different arts. People dance, different genres of dancing. The movies, like we were talking about. You have different genres of all these types of arts, and it's for people to be able to relate to. People to be able to, have something that they can go back to and say, I was really digging that. So,
not only relate to. I feel like with abstract art, you can kind of create your own vision, your own idea of what's going on, because it might not have one set meaning. It might have a meaning to the artist.
Yeah.
But since it's so abstract and so different, you can create your own vibe to it. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's the beauty in abstract art. Like, I love abstract art because it doesn't make any sense. It only makes sense to you if you can kind of forge an idea of what might be going on in this painter's mind or in your mind. So, it just opens the room for so many more possibilities. So, it doesn't have to necessarily mean one thing.
Yeah.
It can mean whatever it means to you.
Yeah, like determining the quality of art, I feel like that is subjective, not objective.
For sure.
And, a lot of times, when you think about Pablo Picasso, right, and some of the simple, abstract...
Basquiat.
Yeah, Basquiat. Just random. Like, if you put a 3-year-old up there and tell him to just splatter paint on a canvas, a lot of people probably won't find the same value as if, Picasso created that piece of art. So, yes, I feel like it's the message and the meaning behind artwork that really carries the value. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Has art ever made you feel comfortable or normal when you felt like you did not belong, or like if you had an interest that no one else could relate to, like, oh, someone else thinks like me, or it makes weird parts of you, just, I guess, has art ever made you feel vulnerable to where you just like you knew like y'all were on the same level?
I think so. I really like architecture.
Okay.
Like abstract architecture. Like you see like untraditional homes. Like it might be in a form of a dome, but it might be built into a mountainside. You know? Yeah. It's just like, and I feel like those people are like more so they connect with nature. It's not necessarily about the house, but how can you not obstruct this nature, but still exactly find somewhere that you can just find peace in. It's just weird because, like I said, it evokes so many different emotions. You could take it. I mean, you could take it as far as the mind can go. So it's not necessarily a limit on art. It's just how far can you detach your mind from the norm and just really get back to going into like your child days, like your childish days. Like, because when I was a kid, I used to just draw whatever. It didn't matter what it was, but it just meant so much to me to know that this is how I felt. I mean, I don't know. It's just, like they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy that you said that because the literal definition that I took from the dictionary is the expression of art is the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in visual form, such as painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power. So going back to what you just said, like it has all those different capabilities and for people to be able to relate to or for people to adapt to. Like, first of all, I didn't know anything about architectural art. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I know buildings and stuff like that, but I ain't think of that as art. So if that could be considered an art to you, may not be considered to art to somebody else. Exactly. So that was deep, honestly. I ain't never thought about that. But now on this podcast, you know, like I said, we no holding back. But we pride ourselves on being open and honest with our discussions without holding back. So with that being said, let's be honest. Have you ever seen something and was like, how is this created? Like, what was the purpose of them even creating this? And now, you know, we have people who come into the studio sometimes and we like, or what are you doing? Like, or, you know, you watch this movie and like, what was the reason this movie was even made? For example, everybody see Homeward Bound with the dog and the cat? Yeah. I have to rewatch that now because I don't understand that movie. As a kid, I think I just like enjoyed watching it because I saw the animals traveling wherever they were going. But have you ever seen a piece of art or something that made you think like, what's the purpose of this?
Yeah, there's a couple things for me, man. One of the things, I mean, we can kind of go on the artist side. So I remember when like Ice JJ Fish was hot at one point. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like one of those things like you hear that, and then I mean he was kind of off beat. You know, Key was off. Yeah. Then all of a sudden you have Blueface. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He's known for off beat, but yeah, he blew up. You know, and then another thing is like I see art as like pieces of like clothing as well. True. Yeah. So if we really think about like, you know, a while ago, if somebody had a hole in their jeans, they're gonna patch it. Right. Yeah. So now we're rocking that style, and then we're also rocking the style with the patches. It's cool. I got a pair myself, but I mean, that's the same thing with shoes too, like Dirty Forces, like certain things like that is like art. So some people might idolize that. Meanwhile, other people might see it as, you know, dirty or, So I think a lot of that stuff has to do with like, just kind of like what age that you were raised in and that type of thing when it comes to generations. Yeah.
Culture. Yeah.
Definitely culture.
Yeah. And personality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Personality.
Well, it's just a form of expression. So all that comes out, you know, what you've been raised around and what you kind of like, I guess what's a good word for? I guess what you, for lack of a better word or a better phrase, like what you really care about. Because like you said, Dirty Forces. I like my forces to be crisp and cream. Right. You know what I'm saying? And there's other people they like the like rugged look. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's their style. You know what I'm saying? That's how they express themselves.
That's their art.
Right. Because when I see a clean pair of forces, I'm like, dang. It's a clean individual.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? But to somebody else, that might just be like, oh, you think too highly of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on, I guess, how you've been raised or what you value. You know.
Yeah.
So.
It's interesting that you guys brought up clothes, because that really made me think that truly everybody is an artist. Like everybody.
For sure.
Because like when you get up in the morning and you decide, hey, I want to put these pieces on.
Yeah.
You're forming
Pieces.
Ooh. To create,
You're forming art.
to create a masterpiece.
It don't matter if you're putting on Skechers.
It don't really.
With the turtleneck.
What?
And a cardigan. You know, it don't matter.
Don't make me go get a pair of Skechers.
So, you know, everyone is wearing art every day.
Right.
So that means we're all considered
Artists.
in
our own way.
Absolutely.
We create our own art, our own piece, our own masterpiece. In different forms, in different ways.
And that's every day.
Every
How
day.
we say things, right? Like how we construct
how
our
we
sentences.
talk.
It's a spoken word.
Exactly. It's ridiculous when you really start to dissect it.
Yeah.
How different, how many forms of art there are without you even realizing, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I know, Zach, you talked about your favorite form of art being architectural design. What about Sci-Fi G? Y'all have a favorite form of art that y'all enjoy? Like I mean, you know, we got so many to choose from.
Yes. I feel like that's a hard thing for me because, you know, you start a new job somewhere, just like you might be taking a certain class. One of the things that they might ask you is like, what's a hobby of yours? I always just stick with, I like the arts with the S. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to just pick one. And if you do say art, like they automatically think you like going to art galleries, which I do. But I'd say music, just because like I feel like that's a form of art where it's easy for me to connect to and connect with. And then another thing is fashion. Like I'm really big into fashion. I just like looking at different like pieces, just like, you know, Sci-Fi mentioned, and really building off that. It just makes me sit and think. So kind of like an abstract style, something that's unique, just to see what made that person get up and wear that this morning.
Yeah.
That could be a, you know, I don't want to say a negative way, but it's like, what was he thinking? You know, and vice versa. He's like, what was he thinking? Like, that's dope. Yeah. So I feel like that's my two.
Man, it's tough. I like music as well. I like how music is constructed. You know, the work, all of the hours that are put into producing a track, right? Like Dr. Dre and Pharrell, they didn't get to where they are today without a time, right? Like, you know, artists, right? They do put a lot of work in, but sometimes it's literally just a splatter of paint on a canvas. But like when it comes to releasing a song, even if it's a simple beat, there's still mixing and mastering that goes on that takes a long time. So I really have an appreciation for the construction and producing of music, honestly.
And sometimes it don't even take a long time. Sometimes it's a 5 minute.
That's what I'm saying.
Just get it off real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Me being a musician, you know, music is the automatic, my favorite art. But I'm surprised neither one of y'all mentioned this. Food. Being a chef, culinary.
Now that's
it.
That's
because I'm not hungry. Right
what? Maybe that's why I'm thinking about it. But yeah, man, like, you know, the way, you know, chefs, just the way they present it. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure it tastes good. It's got to be good the way they present it. I'm like, but it could be. I had some run-ins to where, you know, it was presented well. There wasn't no seasoning on that chicken.
None.
Okay, this is what you call chicken, all right, but
honestly, when it's too pretty,
you almost don't even want to eat it.
Yeah, because first of all, it's probably gonna be $80-$90.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be like a small little portion of the plate.
Yep.
Pretty, but yeah, I feel you.
But yeah, that's another one. That's another art, you know, culinary.
Yeah, it is for sure.
So y'all have any like favorite artists right now?
Yeah, I know for me, like music wise, I've been on Ryan Trey. I don't know, you probably never heard of him. He's more like a modern R&B hip hop.
Yeah.
He's kind of like Bryson Teller's little prodigy. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to check him out.
And Kyle Dion. That's another one.
Oh, you dropping some names. I don't even know.
Oh yeah, I'm putting you on. Free game right here. Free game, man.
Yeah. Man, right now I'm not really like too big. I'm not a fan of too many artists like of this generation right now. But honestly, I gotta give the flowers to Stevie Wonder. I was listening to Stevie Wonder all last week. I was listening to his old, like all of his discography, and for a blind man that has never seen a piano to just come up with all of those hits, you can't help but to give the flowers. It's just amazing. Like Sir Duke, Isn't She Lovely, Ribbon in the Sky.
Ribbon in the Sky, yeah.
I mean, list goes on. Superstition. But yeah.
And that's the thing about art, there's no limitations.
None.
You know, it doesn't discriminate to anybody.
Yeah.
If this is what you want to create, you can find a way to create it.
Mm-hmm.
You can find a way to express yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but for me, for sure, I like the old, like, anywhere from like 2000 to like 2005 hip hop. I just been on that heavy, like the old school, like the Ludas and the T-Pains when they first started coming out.
Yeah,
I've been rocking with that heavy. It's just the sound is so different. Yeah. Like you had 8 sounds back then. Like, that's all you could put into a song. You had 8 sounds. You had to, and that's, to me, that's creativity. Mm-hmm. That minimalism behind it. It's like how good or how sonically, you know,
you have to be,
you know, you have to really be in tune with what you, with yourself, and not only with yourself, but the honest you're trying to reach out to. It's just now you could put 1,000 sounds on a song, but if it don't sound good, it just don't sound good.
Right.
You know, so it's just all about going back to creativity. How creative are you actually? Because sometimes you might not have a lot of time to create a piece.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You might not have the accessibility to a lot of things, but how creative are you?
Right.
That's what sets people different or aside from others.
Yeah.
You know, that's what makes you really blow up.
I mean, if we think about today, most of the music is made digitally. But back in the day when they was in the studio, they were using tapes. They were using tapes. And they had to rewind that thing back, right. You know, every take and all that. So it's crazy how times have evolved. And we've identified a lot of arts that I don't think, you know, our viewers knew about. So, you know, we definitely highlighted a lot of arts, and, you know, we still have some that we didn't highlight. But, you know, definitely like G said, there's no limitations. You can be autistic. You can be lower class, higher class. It doesn't matter what color you are. It does not matter. There's no limitations. It's just it's a mental thing. Really.
Yeah. It don't discriminate for sure.
It definitely doesn't. And art is so broad that anybody can express it. And like you said, Zach, we express it every day when we put on our clothes, when we do our hair, when we, you know, brush our, well, everybody brush their teeth.
Wow.
Hold on, let me change that. Let me change that.
I hope everybody brush their teeth.
Well, that's what we hope. Viewers, if you don't know that, go get your toothbrush if you ain't got one.
A charcoal toothbrush.
I don't even care what kind of toothbrush. Just get you one with some toothpaste and brush your teeth. You might need to stay. If you just start day and night, okay?
No. Twice a day.
Oh yeah,
at least.
And floss. Yeah, floss too.
Don't forget that.
Or get you a water pit, my boy.
Oh yeah.
But nah, you know, we definitely discussed a lot of arts, and man, it was great. It was great. Bringing it back to Platinum Vibes real quick. That's what we do. That's what we do here. We have a lot of arts. You know, we have the podcast. We do music. We do photography, videography. Got some more things, you know, that we're looking forward to in the future with Platinum Vibes, with expressing the arts. So, you know, definitely stay tuned, viewers. But that brings us to the end of this episode. Thanks again, G, for joining us.
Oh, of course. Pleasure to be here. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, man. It was definitely a great discussion of why we love and appreciate art. Hope that this discussion brought some insight and value to y'all. As always, thanks for listening to No Holding Back. Also, if you enjoy this show, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and follow us on Instagram. If you are a viewer, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and be sure to come back next week for a discussion of the genres, the musics, the arts, the creativity, you name it. Every episode we're about the arts. So we're gonna tie the arts into whatever episode, whatever we got to go into. Until then, I am D Hill.
I'm Safa.
I'm Zach.
Oh yeah, and I'm the guest G. Appreciate y'all.
This podcast was created, produced, and recorded by Platinum Vibes. See y'all.